Good God, man. Croat acts like he wants to snap something in two this episode.
Keep it to yourself, but it wouldn't be fair, cause that chocolate crispy taste is loved everywhere. So give me a break, woo, give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Ha, snap it like a Kit Kat. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for The Walking Dead Dead City. This one's going to be doing my next review for Season 2. This for Season 2, Episode 4, titled Feisty Friendly. So, my god, this was such a freaking crazy episode. So, loved this episode. I figured I would, but I loved this episode so much. I mean, I've been waiting for this actor for like almost 2 years since I heard this guy was going to be on this show. Kim Coates is a phenomenal actor, okay? If you are not aware of his work on Sons of Anarchy, then you are missing out, my friends. I'll tell you that right now. And good God, he hasn't changed a bit. I mean, this guy is crazy. This guy is rude, sarcastic, mental, funny, everything, man. This guy's crazy. And I knew he was because I knew his work on Sons of Anarchy. So I was waiting. I was waiting for it, you know? But my God, man, this guy's so good. So, this episode, we have, the main plot is just the plot. Like, we don't really have any other big plots. We have a few scenes with our crew, Maggie's crew at the beginning there. But for the most part, we are at BRUGEL's place this episode at this, you know, dinner and this, you know, Walker Arena fight. And it was so much fun to watch, man. So this episode, I gotta say, you can tell this thing was part comedy, part, you know, Walking Dead, right? You could tell. And for that, it's my favorite episode this season, genuinely, because it has so many different vibes to it. Like, you start the episode off, you've got them, they're like on their way there. You start off with BRUGEL. He's like feeding a rat to something, and like somebody grabs the bucket. And I was just like, wait a minute, who's grabbing a bucket and why is BRUGEL feeding, you know, like someone a rat, right? And I was like, what the hell's going on? So he's got like, you know, somebody locked up, and then we cut to outside and you've got Negan's crew. Negan sees like a walker and stuff, and you've got, you know, Dama that kind of acknowledges his family again. And you can tell Negan just wants to snap, man. Like, he's so done. And then obviously they have the route. They're going to go there. BRUGEL obviously is going to, you know, obviously meet up with them. And you have Croat that's kind of, you know, on edge about it. And he's like, yeah, I don't see the purpose. I don't see how this is going to work, you know. Croat is not in a good mood this episode. Let's put it that way. But anyway, they go there and Negan looks at them. He's like, so what? We're supposed to ring the damn doorbell, you know? So yeah, that's basically what you do, right? So, intro, of course, we come back from the intro and we have Maggie's crew. We've got Herschel there, and Maggie acknowledges that Negan's the one that killed Herschel's dad. So, you know, we kind of get a little bit of, you know, nostalgia there. They kind of tell Armstrong what the deal is and, you know, obviously kind of keep him up to speed on what's happening. And there is a few scenes with them this episode, a few minor ones. Like, you have Jenny that has like a gun with her, and she's explaining that she wants to kill Negan, which Jenny explaining that she wants to kill Negan, I understand. Although, you know, I will say this. I kind of hope that we get some kind of a flashback with Jenny at one point where we see Negan kill her father. I think that would give us a little bit more context on what happened if they're able to do that. I think that'd be cool, because especially if we're taking Jenny on this warpath now where she wants to kill Negan, I don't see that ending in any other way aside from Jenny has to die. You know what I mean? Because I don't see her forgiving Negan. Obviously, I don't see Negan dying. You better friggin' not. I'll tell you that right now. So, obviously, it's Jenny has to die at one point. But I want to get more context on, you know, the scene, how Negan killed her father, the way that went down. I think there's definitely some stuff there you can add context to, and I think that's something that they should do. So that's just my opinion there. I think that they should give us more context on Jenny, but you have Colonel Lucia that kind of unloads her gun and, you know, gives it back to her and stuff like that, and, she talks about restoring the law and all that BS that she always does. But anyway, they show up at BRUGEL's place, and this was so good, man. He was sarcastic from the moment he showed up. He's like, welcome, welcome, you know? And he, like, kind of looks at them, and he's like, yeah, oh, yeah, is that right, Croat? Yeah, you got that, like, that, you know, thing, that explosive there? He's like, oh, my God, yeah, it's so crazy, man. Like, oh my god, I would never dare question you, you know what I mean? Like, the way he talks to Croat, he treats him like such a friggin' child, which Croat is a man-child, let's be honest here. But anyway, he, you know, of course, shows him, like, these paintings and stuff like that, shows him all this wonderful stuff. He, like, takes Dama's hand and stuff, you know, they walk together and stuff. It's like, man, this is such a friggin' play, you know? And then, obviously, like, he kind of talks to Negan, he's like, yeah, Negan, what do you think? And he's like, art's never really been my thing. I'm more of a movie poster type of guy, you know what I mean? And, you know, you got Brugel to kind of understand. So he decides to invite them for lunch, and that's basically what ends up happening. They go to the Last Supper looking freaking scene I've ever seen in my life. Like, you got, you know, like the big chair, you got Brugel sitting there, you got everybody lined up and stuff. I was like, oh my god, what the hell is going on here, you know? But anyway, he's lining them up, and then, oh my god, man, I died laughing at this. He looks at him, and you got Croat next to him, and he's like, could you pass the carrots? Could you pass the carrots? You know, and he's like, I'm sorry, your accent's just so damn exotic, you know? I'm like, damn. Honestly, I've been waiting for somebody to say that. Let's be honest here. Who the frig even knows what Croat says 50% of the time when he talks? So, no, I've been waiting for somebody to say that. I'm sorry, man, your accent's just so damn exotic, you know? Oh my god, that killed me. I can't lie, I was weak at that, because I was like, man, honestly, who the hell has had the balls to call that up till now? I mean, honestly, Brugel is the man, dude. Honestly, he just says it like it is. He has no filter at all. He'll just say it like, he's like, wait a minute, what? And then, like, 20 minutes later, they're sitting there at the friggin', like, the diner stall, and it's just like, yeah, could you pass the carrots, please? Could you pass the carrots? I think that's how he says it. I'm like, oh my god, man. Yeah, no, this guy's a trip, man. This guy's a trip. Making fun of Croat pretty much the entire time. So, they have a bet, right? Which is this Walker Arena, Brugel's Walker versus their Walker. Whoever wins, they make the deal. Or no deal. And you can kind of get the sense that Brugel's Walker continues to win. And that's starting to piss Croat off. And there is a moment where Croat just slams his hand on the table and he's like, no, this is ridiculous. Like, what are we doing, you know? And you can tell that Croat's kind of getting pissed off. He's getting fed up because he doesn't want to trade the meth thing just like that over a bet over Walkers. And, you know, you have Negan, of course, that kind of tries to almost fix the situation. And Dama kind of picks up on that. And I did like that because it was almost like, oh, shoot, like, Negan's the one that made the deal with Brugel. Okay, your Walker versus my Walker. Let's see who wins, you know? But beforehand, Croat was about to get them freaking thrown out. Like, you could tell, like, Croat was going to get them freaking thrown out. So, Negan kind of calmed the situation down. He kind of talked Brugel down. He negotiated. And that's why we all love Negan, because Negan is a master negotiator, right? Negan is that dude that's just like, okay, like, you know, I will do whatever I need to do. You know what I mean? I will do whatever I need to do to get the deal across. And that's why Dama, you know, wants Negan on her side. I mean, think about it from the Dama's perspective. She's a mental manipulator. She's not much of a physical making deals type, you know? So obviously Negan has to be that, and Croat is not good at that whatsoever. At least with this group, he's not. So, you know, she's finally found somebody like Negan that can actually help her out and actually do things, you know, on his level. And I think that's a really cool thing. But yeah, no, that was so good. And we also got a little bit of lore on the Dama too. You know, we found out about her being like a critic and stuff like that, kind of, you know, back in the day, and then she bit someone apparently. And you know, you got this kid that they have hostage from New Babylon. He's kind of breaking it down, and you can tell Negan's having fun with this because he's like, yeah, you know, you want to out my family? I'm gonna make fun of your past life. You know, I'm gonna laugh at you a little bit. You know what I mean? So I thought that was pretty cool as well too. They're like sitting there eating rats and stuff, watching the fights go down, and obviously they place the bet. Negan makes the bet with Brugel. Croat embarrasses himself, and then that's basically that. But you get a massive scene in this one where Brugel's one of his like art like paintings or whatever is like on fire, and he's like all freaking out. He's like, no, like what the hell, you know? And then you got, you know, Negan. He kind of sits there and he's like, okay, what's going on? And then he kind of looks at the Dama and he's like, yeah, like, I gotta go take a crap because that friggin' rat kind of got to me a little bit, you know what I mean? Kind of says he got diarrhea, I guess. And then basically he goes to the bathroom. And then you have Maggie. Now, I love this subtle detail. She called him over by doing the savior whistle, which that was cool. I like that. That's the one way she knew she would be able to draw him, you know what I mean? I'm actually kind of shocked Croat didn't pick up on that whistle, and he was like, wait a minute, you know? But he's so deaf, he's got one ear anyway, he can't help himself. So, anyway, and he's kind of stupid. So, anyway, point is Maggie, of course, walks up to Negan, And you got them too. And he's like, Maggie, you came back. And I love how real this is because, like, you've got a sequence where Maggie kind of approaches Negan and it's like, okay, what do we do now? You know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen? And, you know, she's kind of saying, like, yeah, it looks like you're doing all right for yourself. And he's like, look, I can't help you, you know? And she's like, listen, I'm not here for you. I'm not here for the meth thing. I just want to get this done so that these New Babylon people leave us alone. And Negan understands that. And he says, listen, I can't help you. I can barely help myself. And she kind of puts two and two together that it's Annie and Joshua that they're holding over his head. And as soon as she realizes this, she basically realizes, okay, like, you know, you're trapped here, right? And she walks away, and the big thing that he kind of says is, like, he's like, listen, Maggie, do not trust Herschel. Whatever you do, don't trust Herschel. And she kind of calls BS on this, and she's like, no, that's my son, like, you know, whatever. But you can tell, and this is, you know, why I love Lauren's acting. Again, highlight, Lauren's been great this whole season. I don't know what critics are saying, but anyway, she basically says, she's just like, you know, oh yeah, like, no, that's my son. Like, there's no way. There's nothing wrong with him. Like, you're crazy, you know? But you can tell that deep down she knows there's something wrong with her son too. You can tell. And when they sneak in there, you've got Herschel that walks up to the Dama, and she's like, oh, what a fun surprise. And they didn't really follow up on the scene. Like, Herschel just kind of escapes with Maggie later on, and then that's kind of it. But you're kind of wondering, like, okay, wait a minute. What did Dama say to Herschel? The scene cut, and we didn't see what happened. So what I'm betting is that we're going to find out later on. There's definitely a scene that went down there somewhere. We just don't know what happened, you know? So, yeah, that's really interesting. That is really interesting. That's crazy. And then obviously you got the walkers, of course, that are fighting. And well, this I loved because you have a sequence in this one where you have the walkers that are fighting back and forth. And then obviously Negan kind of picks up on it. And it's like, hey, no physical contact. You know what I mean? And then Negan jumps in. He's like, hey, not physical contact, you know? And then obviously he kind of goes in there. You get the fights that break out. And then obviously Negan kind of picks up on something wrong with Brugel's walker. And at first you're kind of like, wait a minute, what does Negan see? And then he whispers in his ear. And I was kind of sitting there thinking to myself, oh, damn, we're not going to find out what it was. Well, towards the end of the episode, they make an agreement to work together and ally. That's, you know, that goes through fully this episode. So they're an ally now, which is good. Negan made that deal happen. But you're still wondering what he whispered to him to make Brugel say that they had an agreement. And, well, let's just say basically towards the end of the episode, you had Brugel that reveals that the bodyguard that he had back before the outbreak even happened, because he was so, you know, well known, that he had to hire a bodyguard named Tony. Well, this Tony guy is actually still alive in the current day, and he's playing as a walker in his arena fights, and he is the one that he has locked up and he's feeding rats to in this, like, small room of his. So as soon as he realized that Negan caught on to this, he slits his throat with his watch, which has a knife coming out of it, slits his throat and says, well, you're no use to me anymore. You know what I mean? Negan finally figured out what the hell Brugel was doing. And I heard people, like, for multiple weeks saying, oh my god, they're ruining the walkers on Dead City. They're ruining it. Like, walkers don't fight each other. That's BS. Well, there you go. It wasn't even a walker. It was literally a human being, which I got to admit, I fully was expecting something like that to happen. But I did not expect for it to be his bodyguard from the past, and I also didn't expect Negan to pick up on it. So that was crazy stuff right there. I don't know if they're setting up some kind of villain arc with Brugel, but I hope they are, because this guy is insane. This guy, like, if he's the season 3 antagonist, man, that could be insane. That could be really insane. So we'll see, man. I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a chance that he could be the season 3 antagonist, which would be pretty insane if he was, because we only got 4 episodes left, and obviously we know we're going to probably see the downfall of Croat and the group overall, the Barazi, so it wouldn't shock me at all if, you know, Brugel was a big antagonist this season. We'll see. It's kind of an up in the air thing, but I think it'd be really cool. I think it'd be really enjoyable. So yeah, the only other scene I can kind of think of this episode is there was that one funny talk scene where they were talking about, like, Maggie and Armstrong and Herschel. They were talking about what they miss and stuff from the old world, you know, and Herschel kind of doesn't really know because he wasn't part of it, which I thought was kind of sad. But Maggie and Armstrong kind of talk about, like, oh, what do you miss most? You know, it's like, oh, I miss the sandwich from this and this. And then Maggie's like, I miss Kit Kats, you know, and jelly donuts, you know. And they're, like, singing, like, the Kit Kat song, which I like that detail. I thought that was hilarious, but I like that detail because I'm like, man, like, people would realistically, like, I don't know, I like how real it felt, because if you're in an apocalypse, you know, Walking Dead sometimes is always so made for TV that it's all about the scenes and it's all about this. And then sometimes you get a scene in Dead City like this where it feels like you're just there with them. You know what I mean? It feels like that's how real humans would talk. You know, be like, oh yeah, do you remember that jingle back in the day that Kit Kats had? Yeah, man, that was so good. You know, like, oh, I miss that. You know, like, it's just small things, but I like that they do that. I think it adds to the realism. I think it adds to the immersion, and I think it's really cool. So if you couldn't tell, I loved the crap out of this episode. This episode was so good. This is easily my favorite so far this season. It was entertaining. It was so good. It was awesome. Every scene, every moment, loved it all. And Brugel, Kim Coates, I think he's going to do fantastic on this show. He's already doing fantastic on this show. Well, yeah, no. The most hype thing for me this season has already paid off. I'll tell you that. So 10 out of 10, man. I got nothing wrong with this one, man. This was good. I love this. This was fantastic. The fights were good. The action was good. The dialogue was good. The twist, the plot twists and stuff, it was so good. It was such a good episode. So post your comments down below, guys. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe. Don't you miss any of the videos. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos very soon. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies did a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a straight fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.